Good morning everyone, I am John Cornelius M. Lasarte from DepEd Mathematics 3 and I am your reporter for Technology for Teaching and Learning 2 and the topic Review of DepEd Daily Lesson Plan. So you remember that the teachers or the professional teachers are given privilege to use the semi-detailed lesson plan, but the new teachers are required to submit or prepare a detailed lesson plan for at least 1 year. So now let me give you an overview or review about the DepEd daily lesson plan, which is a detailed lesson plan. So we're going to discuss about it every part detailed discussion for it. Okay, let us begin. So in this part, the upper part, we can see the teacher, teaching date and time, the section, and I fill it up with my name, the date where I'm going to teach, when I'm going to teach, May 13, 2022, 1 to 2 p.m. in Integrated Laboratory High School. So the lesson plan that I prepared is for the grade 7 mathematics second quarter, which is written here. For the first part of the lesson plan, we have the objectives, which contains the content standards, performance standards, learning competencies, and specific learning competencies. For the part A, B, and C, which are the content standards, performance standards, and learning competencies, we can find it in the MELCs or most essential learning competencies. So we can, for example, my topic is the evaluating algebraic expression. The learning competencies or specific learning competencies is evaluates algebraic expressions for given values of the variable, while the content standards and performing standards can be copied from here. So this is the content standards and this is the performance standards that we can see in my detailed lesson plan. On the other hand, then in the specific learning objectives, we have here the 3 specific learning objectives which can be formulated based from the cognitive, psychomotor, and affective domain. So we're going to formulate those specific objectives with taking note of those 3 domains. So for the second part, we have here the subject matter, which contains the main topic and the subtopic. So my main topic is evaluating algebraic expression. If ever you have subtopic, you can put it under this one or put it in this row for the subtopic. Moving on to learning resources, we have the references and other learning resources. For teaching guide, learning materials, and textbook, you just put the name of the book or textbook here on the opposite side in the right column. And if you have additional materials for learning resources, you can note it in this part. For the other learning resources, you just need to take note of it here in this opposite column. So moving on to the procedure, we have here the preliminaries, but take note that we have here 2 columns. The first left column for teacher's activity and the right column for learner's activity. So preliminaries may contain prayer, greetings, checking of attendance, or other activities such as some drill or energizer activities that can help boost the motivation of the learners in this class. So you need to note here what should the teachers do for this, and students the expected activities or the tasks that students should perform. Moving on, we have here the reviewing previous lesson. Here you can even put some questions like, what have we discussed in our previous lesson? What have you learned on our previous lesson, or something like that. Or you can post the activity like here, like what I prepare who am I to you? Am I your constant or just a variable for you? So in this teacher's activity, you will post the activity together with the answer sheet if there is any. So in the learner's activity, it is expected to find the solution or the final answer for that activity, or if you just post the question for review. So the answer for the review, or the expected answer for the review, should be written here on the student's activity. So in establishing the purpose of the lesson, here you can write the motivation for your topic for today. So here I have here a magic trick. So I discuss what is the magic trick. The interaction between the teacher and student should be noted here from the left side for teacher's activity, questions or statements, and the answer of the students or statement of the student should be written in the left side. Other than this trick, you can also prepare games like 4 picks 1 word, guessing game, arranging jumbled letters to form the word, find the missing words, or other form of activity to motivate the students. You can also post video to start the lesson as your motivation or for establishing the purpose of the lesson. So in part C, we have here presenting examples and instances for the new lesson. In this part, you can now be able to start your discussion, or if it is an interactive type of lesson, you can post your activities, questions, and other interactive discussion between the teacher and the student. So this serves as the discussion proper part. You can also put here some image so that the student can be able to visualize the topic, as well as for the help the teacher to easily transfer the knowledge or the learning to their students. So for part D, discussing the new concept and practicing new skills, or number 1. So we have number 1, and we also have discussing new concepts and practicing skills, number 2. So in this part, you can post activities, questions, or even games so that you can entertain your students while learning. So this, for my example here, we have here the math campite, the group activity wherein the students should group themselves and answer the following or evaluate the following algebraic expression together with their group mates. So here you can see that there is the direction clearly explained here on the teacher's activity part column, and together with the problems to be posted or the categories that the students should answer during the group activity or game. So in this student part, the expected answers for these questions should be noted. And then for another activity, we have the part discussing new concept and practicing skill number 2, so that the students can continue practicing and hone their learning or apply their learning as they gone through series of activities like this one for model your own problem. So this can also be a second part for your game, or just another type of activity or another set of activities related to the same topic, of course. So you are going to state your problems or the items or questions for those activities on the teacher's activity column. For the learner's activity, you should post the statement of the students or the answer of the students to the activities or questions that you post in discussing the new concept and practicing skill number 2. After that, we are going to put the developing mastery here in this part. So another set of activity. In this part, we are going to increase a little bit the difficulty of the questions or items that you are going to post, so that you can test whether they have improved their learning or they have deepened their understanding for the lesson. In the same manner, you will also post here the activity for the teacher's activity column, and for the student's activity column are the answers to that activity. After the part for developing mastery, it is important for the learning of the students to apply their learning on the real life situation, or they should be able to relate their learning in their previous experiences, or it should be usable for their daily life activities. That is why in this part, in the part G, we have finding practical application of concept and skills in daily living. So the activities that we should put here should be related into real life situation. We can put some problem solving activities here, such as the I'll buy park and wildlife sales of tickets for the topic algebraic or evaluating algebraic expression. In the same manner, we should put here the answers or possible answers that the student should come up with for answering and solving this problem. After the series of activities, of course, before we end the lesson, we should always have the generalization and abstraction of our lesson for today to surely check if they have clearly understand their essence of the topic for today. So here, you are going to pose some questions, or you can ask them about what they have learned, what they have realized throughout the discussion, and for every questions on the left column for the teacher's activity, there should be a response from the student in the student activity for the written in the left column. And after the generalization, we have the part evaluation or evaluating. For evaluating, we can have here a small quiz or short test written in the teacher's activity, and the possible answer should be revealed in the teacher's activity part of left column part of the daily lesson plan. And for the additional activities, we can have here or write here our assignment for the students, and the teacher activity here is to post this assignment. Then for the student activity, they just need to copy their assignment, and you can leave it there blank without the answers to the assignment. So after that, we have here the remarks that should be noted after the lesson. So the first one is the number of learners who earned 80% in the evaluation after checking the evaluation. Second one, number of learners who required additional activities for remediation, those who have failed the assessment or have low scores in the assessment. For the third one, did the remedial lesson work? Number of learners who have caught up with the lesson, and then the number of learners who continue to require remediation. Which of the teacher's strategy worked well? Why did it work? What difficulties did I encounter which my principal or supervisor can help me solve? So this part of the daily lesson plan is for reflective teaching. Here, answering these key questions or statements should help you or should guide you in reflecting whether your lesson plan or your strategies and teaching approaches become successful or effective in your discussion proper. So that I hope that you have learned something from me, or you have recalled the parts of the daily lesson plan through my discussion for today. So thank you for listening and have a great day.